We're going to start with a mountain climber with a twist. This aims to open up the thoracic, so the upper back and the hips a little bit. So come down into the plank position, wrists under elbows and shoulders. Step your foot to the outside of your hand. You can drop that back knee to the floor. Open up with this arm. Hold that position for a minute and come back down again. Step the foot back so you're in the plank position again, and then switch to the other side. Drop that knee to the floor. Open up. Hand back down. And you just keep going in this movement pattern for about a minute. You can hold each side for longer if you feel you need to. Another good addition is to let this knee drop out. You can push it out so you get a nice stretch through the inner thigh as well. And then switch to the other side. Good. Just do one more each side here. Perfect. So, back to standing. We're going to go into a straight leg to squat. So, I would have feet slightly wider than hip width. You're going to come down into a forward fold. So, as close to the ground as you can, keeping your legs as straight as possible. From here, you're going to drop down into a squat. Bring your hands out in front and slowly come back up. And I just like to bring in a full arm extension at the top there. Then you're going to fold back down. Hands to your feet if you can. Drop down as low as you want to go. Arms up and open up. We'll do that a couple more times. You can go lower into the squat if your hips allow, because that feels quite nice as well. Arms straight out in front, all the way up. Good. Again, you just want to keep going for roughly a minute. Doesn't matter too much about how many reps you get, but a minute should be enough just to, again, open up the hips. You'll feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings and the lower back. And as you come into that extension as well, your shoulders will open up a little bit. Okay, next one, on your back. So 2 ways of doing this. If you feel up to it, you can bring your hips to 90 degrees and your knees to 90 degrees. From here, you're going to roll side to side. You can bring your arms out as well, so you get a nice twist through the side body. Then switch to the other side. Really engage the core to lift up. Drop that down to the other side, so control. If that feels a bit much, you can keep your feet flat on the floor and do the same movement. And you can always progress to feet up when you feel ready. Aim to try and keep that lower back on the floor in the middle position, just to make sure we don't get any overarching. Perfect. Again, about a minute there. On from this, we're going to come into a pigeon pose. So step one leg through as far as you can towards your hands. Then you're going to sink your hips down nice and low. You should feel a stretch in your outer glute and sometimes the top of the hamstring as well. From here, you could just add a little bit of movement, which will help to open up the hips, especially if you've been sat down all day. So roll into that top position, all the way back. Don't worry about the angle of the leg. The aim is to try and get it as straight as possible, but at the moment it's just taking your body into that position. Once you've done about 30 seconds on one side, you can switch through to the other side. And again, we'll just rock backwards and forwards. You can also just hold if you want to, if that feels better. You don't need to move all the way through. It's whatever feels most comfortable for you. If you feel like you want something under this hip, I'll do it on this side, so you can put something under your hip here just to help you feel a bit more balanced. Again, you can also deepen the stretch by coming all the way down onto your forearms and just hold sort of 30 seconds each side, and maybe you could add of movement and then add a 15-second hold or so just to really emphasize the stretch on the hips. And there we have it.